What if I told you that being confident, it isn't waiting until you feel ready? Because ready isn't a feeling, it's a decision. It's being able to do what you know you have to do despite of how you feel. Now, before we end up watching the rest of this video and you learn how to become a very undeniably confident person, I want you to ask yourself this very simple question. What is it costing you to not become a confident person? And what is a confident person? Having belief in yourself. Now, the question you need to ask yourself is, why don't you have this belief in yourself? That's why you haven't managed to achieve most of the things that you've wanted to. Because there's this thing that you want, you say you believe in yourself, but all of a sudden when it's time to take the action, then you start to overthink. If you were anything like me, you were someone who had imposter syndrome, someone who's very emotional, someone who's very reactive, someone who would always overthink. And that was the biggest problem, because you would think about this thing that you wanted. You experience the highs, and then the moment it starts to get to a point where it could go wrong, you're so afraid of rejection. You're so afraid that it can go that way that you never actually take the action, because you suffered so much more in your imagination than in reality in itself, that thought only ever stays a thought. So what have you just done? There was something that you wanted to do, but you didn't do it. So what have you just done? You've allowed doubt to enter your mind. And you've done that on so many multiple occasions that whatever you are watering, that will grow. And you've been watering your doubts. So that keeps on growing. So the moment there's this other task that you want to do, this other thing that you want to do, each time that you don't follow through with the action, guess what you've just done? You've allowed doubt to enter into your mind. And every time that doubt enters your mind, that voice quiets down. And what is that voice? The one that believes in themselves, the one that actually gets shit done. But now you've lived a backlog of so many betrayals, of so many times that you've let yourself down, that now you live in constant doubt, in constant insecurities, in a constant state of anxiety. So what is confidence? Simply put, confidence is just the ability to follow through. I used to think that confidence was the way that you look, the status that you had, and I'm going to tell you from experience that it has nothing to do with it. I've managed to live both sides of the spectrum. I was someone who had no female attention. On the contrary, I wasn't the most good-looking kid, to all of a sudden getting all of this attention. Now, in the moment it feels good. It feels like a drug, like a high. But the moment you don't get that attention, you start to feel so insecure because you start to question yourself. Your self-worth, your value, it doesn't come from anyone else. You give it to yourself. And how do you give it to yourself? By how much you respect yourself. And how do you show yourself that you respect yourself? By following through with everything that you say you're going to do because of these things that you want. And that's what being successful is. Being successful is doing those things that you truly want. If you're out of shape and you want to get in shape, living in alignment with being in shape is being successful. If you're not in the financial situation where you want to be, but you're doing everything that you know you're meant to grow that thing, you are being successful. It isn't the destination. It isn't the outcome, because that you cannot control. But you know what's going to give you confidence? Is the daily actions that you control, that you tell yourself, despite of how you feel, despite of how afraid you feel, you believing in yourself to do the thing is what's going to give you confidence. Every time that you do it, you build that confidence up. And confidence isn't a destination, this thing that you unlock and you have it forever, like a purchase, a one-time purchase. It isn't. Confidence is a subscription. You have to pay for it every single day. And how do you pay for it? With follow through. And it all comes with the very simple things. It's all the small choices that compound to the big ones. How do you ever expect to do something big and crazy, take these big risks, when you can't even follow through with the small things that you say? Oh, I'm going to wake up early. Oh, I'm going to go to the gym. Oh, I'm going to wash my clothes. But what do? You don't do them. You put it off to later. So that enters doubt. Now, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. Now, the moment you do that big thing, you have this overwhelm of doubt, because you have no evidence to show you that you can do these things. But don't worry. It doesn't matter what you did. It doesn't matter what you could have done. It's focusing on how we can become a confident person now that truly believes himself to do that thing that he wants to do. You have to start off small, and you just have to focus on today by never breaking your word, because that builds a very strong bond with yourself. Like, I want you to think about, imagine you've come to the gym with me, you've never come to the gym before, and all of a sudden I tell you come lift 100 kilos. Well, you probably try it and you most likely won't be able to lift it. Now, what do? You have two choices. well, never try again. And the moment you think about lifting 100 kgs, you just get so overwhelmed and depressed because you can't do it. Or you can go back, start with 20, 30, 40, work your way up, and all of a sudden, miraculously, you can lift 100 kg. No, you've exposed yourself to that thing. So what are you exposing yourself to? To uncomfortable situations, things that you normally put to the side, things that you normally don't follow through with, and actually fully respecting your word. Now, once you do this, when the bigger task comes, well, it's like a game. You've done this, you've done that, you've stacked so many wins. Well, the moment this comes about, you have the confidence to actually follow through because you believe you are who you say you are with the evidence. They're like trophies. It's not you thinking and having doubts. It's, wait, what have I done? You look back and you've actually done it. And that's what it is. And I want you to look back at all the experiences where it's made you feel the most alive. Where when I was a kid, I remember there was a game called Knockdown Ginger, where I would go around with my friends in the neighborhood, knocking on doors and running away. Now, I used to be so afraid because before you knock on that door, you're thinking about, what if they come out? What if I get caught? What if I trip? What if I get in trouble? What if I go to prison? What if I'm in prison forever? Because you're a kid. But the moment you do it, you feel so alive. And that high of just proving to yourself that you are so much more, proving to yourself that, wait, I was suffering so much more in my imagination than in reality in itself, that leads you to do more and more and more. But if you keep on watering the doubts and not following through, well, guess what? You're gonna keep on not following through and doing the things that you're meant to do more and more and more. Now, I want you to build a relationship with yourself. Like, imagine you having a friend and you tell that friend, let's meet up tomorrow, 5 p.m., let's go have dinner. Now, you go there, 5 p.m., he doesn't show up, sends you a text, says, look, my car broke down. Completely understandable. Shit happens. Now, the next day, he tells you, let's go tomorrow, 5 p.m., I'll be there. You go there. Next day, he's not there. He sends you a message, I'm feeling ill. It can happen. Next day, same thing. Fourth day, same thing. So what do you think is going to happen on the 10th day? You're going to have a lot of doubt. You most likely won't even show up. This is the same thing with yourself. Whenever you want to do something, the first time you don't do it, no matter how small it is, fine. The next day, you don't do it, fine. Well, what's going to happen on the 10th day when you actually have to do something? This goal that you want, what's going to happen? Well, you're not going to do it. Why? Because you're going to doubt yourself. So if you can't do the small thing, how do you expect to do the big thing? And this is why you live in a constant state of fear and you live paralyzed by this fear. Now, I want to tell you something. Most of the time that you live paralyzed by this fear, because fear is a preservative of life. Worst case scenario is, oh, I'm going to die. You are not going to die. The thing that most people are afraid of, they're afraid of making mistakes. Now, that's why it's so important to not follow your emotions and follow who you want to be. Think about, envision, who is this person that I want to be? How would they act? How would they behave? And the moment you're faced with adversity, that is a mental gym. That is the pressure that you've never gone through, the point that you normally break. This is where you build tolerance. This is the point where you normally lose your confidence. Now, if you put that extra rep, if you show up despite of how hard it feels, guess what you've just done? You've built more confidence. It's like going to the gym. If there's a weight that you've never done before, but you're struggling, that's exactly what you want to get stronger, to lift the next weight so your muscle can become slightly stronger and build a better physique. That's why it's super important to have a reason, because the reason is going to be the very thing that's going to allow you to continue. It's going to be the very thing that's going to allow you to push forward. It's going to be the very reason why you continuously take action. Because there's going to be times where you feel frustrated. There's going to be times where you feel upset. We are humans. It makes part of our nature. But the moment you think about what you truly want, no matter how sad or upset you feel, you know that what you truly want is on the other side of that emotion stopping you from taking the action. And when you take the action, you feel so fulfilled. Why? Because it's something that you truly want. So the key of being someone who is confident is just follow through. Never breaking your word. And you build that by your small daily habits. Start small. Say you're going to do your bed, you do your bed. You say that you're going to study Duolingo for 5 minutes, study Duolingo. You say that you're going to go to the gym, go to the gym. The moment you habitually never break your word, you will realize that you will become someone undeniably confident. Now, if you like this video, please put down in the comment section below what was your biggest takeaway. Now, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. With that being said, that is Sunwa out.